This beach was shut down by the US government because of something they found underwater. Divers found a giant mysterious metal object buried in the ocean, and nobody knows what it is. Some say it's a sunken UFO, others think it's an old nuclear submarine, so we went straight to the source, broke the rules, and what we found down there was insane. Florida is famous for its beautiful beaches, but what happened recently shocked everyone. A few days ago, someone walking along the beach noticed something really strange in the water. It wasn't just seaweed or a random rock, it looked shiny, like metal. The water was pretty clear that day, so the object was easy to spot in the shallow part near the shore. The person immediately reported it, and the Coast Guard was sent to check it out. When their divers went underwater, they found something unexpected. Huge metal structures buried under the sand, not small pieces, but big parts of something that looked man-made. Some parts were sticking out, while others were completely hidden by layers of sand and coral. Around the same time, local fishermen said their sonar equipment, which they used to scan underwater, picked up weird shapes below the surface. It wasn't like regular rocks or fish, it looked organized like pieces of a machine or maybe a ship. This made people really curious. What could it be? An old shipwreck? A piece of military equipment, or maybe something even more mysterious? Just to be safe, the authorities quickly closed down around 2 to 3 kilometers of the beach. They wanted to make sure no one went swimming or diving there until they knew what was going on. Police and Coast Guards also placed signs everywhere, warning people not to enter the water. The Florida Department of Environmental Protection and the US Coast Guard took over the investigation together. These are serious agencies and they didn't want to take any risks. In a press conference, they said, "We are investigating, but there is no public danger yet." That means they aren't sure what it is, but they don't want people to panic. They've already started using advanced tools like ground-penetrating sonar and magnetometers. These help detect metal and large objects underground or underwater. The US Navy was also notified, which was a big deal. Why? Because there is a chance this thing underwater could be an old military submarine or maybe even explosives from the past. That would explain the size and why everyone's being so careful. The NOAA, National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, joined in too. Their scientists are checking if this object is affecting marine life or the ocean water around it. If it's leaking any chemicals or fuel, it could be harmful to the environment. Because of all this, local authorities didn't want to take any chances. They set up exclusion zones, areas where no one is allowed to go. You'll see ropes, flags, warning boards, and even patrols flying overhead to make sure people don't enter. They're treating this like a crime scene and a science lab at the same time. Everything is being recorded, monitored, and tested step by step. So far, the officials are keeping the details a bit quiet, probably because they want to make sure the facts are correct before telling the public more. Florida's beaches have more than just sand and sunshine. They have history hidden underwater. The discovery of the mysterious object might seem shocking now, but if you look back, it kind of makes sense. Over the years, many ships have sunk along the Florida coastline. Some were from the colonial days, carrying gold, weapons, or spices from Europe. Others were World War II ships that were either attacked or abandoned. There are even stories of German U-boats, underwater submarines being spotted near this area during the war. Some experts say one of those could have sunk nearby and never been found until now. Even before World War II, storms and hurricanes would hit the Florida coast and cause big merchant ships to crash. Many of those wrecks are still out there, buried in sand, hidden by coral, or just forgotten. Treasure hunters have been trying to find them for decades. Some found gold coins, some found nothing. But the strange thing is, no one really focused on this specific area. That's why this recent discovery is so interesting. Marine archaeologists are now saying this could be a wreck they've never seen before. One expert even called it a classified heritage site. That means it could be important not just to Florida but to American history. Based on the sonar images, the object does look like a ship hull. The curved shape and large size match what you'd expect from an old battleship or transport vessel, but it's still too early to say for sure. First off, there is a chance it might be old weapons like bombs or torpedoes. These are called unexploded ordnance or UXOs. Basically, there are bombs that never went off but are still dangerous. If something like that is down there, it could explode if moved or disturbed, which is super risky for divers, boats, or even marine animals. Another issue is pollution. If this object has fuel, oil, or heavy metals in it, those things can leak out and poison the water. That's really bad news for sea life like fish, turtles, dolphins, and even the coral reefs that live nearby. Coral reefs are already struggling due to climate change, so extra pollution would only make things worse. Some scientists say sunken objects can turn into artificial reefs, which sounds cool because fish love hiding around them. But not always. If the object is toxic or breaks apart, it could hurt way more than help, so it's a mixed bag. Also, let's talk about boats and ships. Florida's coast has busy shipping lanes where boats pass all the time. If this thing is huge and sticking up from the ocean floor, it can mess with navigation. Ships might need to reroute, which costs time and money. Or worse, a ship could hit it and cause a crash. Lastly, it's about people's safety. Tourists love swimming and diving in Florida, but that whole area is now off limits. Why? Because they don't know yet if it's safe. There could be sharp metal parts, toxic leaks, or the risk of collapse if something is moved the wrong way. Okay, let's be real, whenever something mysterious happens, conspiracy theories explode online, and this Florida underwater discovery is no different. People on TikTok, Instagram, Reddit, and especially YouTube are going wild with ideas. Some say it's a UFO, like literally an alien spaceship that crashed underwater and now the government is trying to hide it. A few UFO enthusiasts even posted blurry drone photos saying, "Look, the shape is not human-made." It got tons of likes, of course. Others believe this is part of a deep state cover-up. That means they think the Navy or some secret government agency is doing hidden experiments, and this object is proof of that. They say the beach shutdown isn't about safety, it's about keeping the public away from the truth. Another weird idea is that there's a secret underwater base, like a military facility built underwater, kinda like Area 51 but in the ocean. Some people are even connecting it to Montauk Project or old myths about Atlantis. YouTube is especially full of clickbait titles like "Florida's Hidden Truth Exposed" or "Is the Ocean Alive?" It's kind of funny, but also a little sad because people actually believe this stuff without checking facts. But experts are shutting down these theories. Scientists say there are no signs of alien tech, like weird radiation or strange electromagnetic signals. They've scanned the object and found nothing supernatural. Most of the real data points to it being a man-made object, probably from the past. This mysterious underwater find might be interesting to the world, but for the locals in Florida, it's a serious problem. Especially for people who live near the beach and run small businesses there. As soon as the beach got shut down, tourists stopped coming. And when tourists disappear, so does money. Shops that sell swimsuits, surfboards, and snacks suddenly had no customers, beachside restaurants had to cancel bookings, people who rent out boats or offer scuba diving lessons are now stuck with nothing to do. Fishermen are also upset. Many of them depend on the ocean every single day, but with parts of the water blocked off, they can't fish like they used to do. Some are worried that the ocean around that object might get polluted, which could kill fish in the area. There is also a bit of frustration. Some locals feel like the government is overreacting. They think the officials are making the situation sound scarier than it actually is, just to avoid taking responsibility or to hide something. Real estate is feeling it too. People who own houses near the beach saw a small drop in property value. No one wants to move next to a danger zone even if it's temporary. It's not a huge crash, but it's enough to make people nervous. But even with all this, the community is trying to bounce back. Some smart business owners started mobile carts and delivery services. Others teamed up to start an online page where they promote beach-friendly businesses that are still open nearby. Also, petitions have started. Locals are asking the authorities to share more information and open the beach as soon as it's safe. People just want the truth, and they want to get back to normal life. All around the world, underwater discoveries have led to major surprises and sometimes even serious problems. Looking at these older cases can actually help Florida understand what to do next. Take 2019 in Venice, Italy, for example. Divers there found unexploded World War II bombs hidden in the lagoon, something no one expected. The area had to be shut down completely while bomb experts removed them safely. It delayed tourist events and made locals super nervous, but it also reminded the world that even peaceful places can hide dangerous history. Then in 2022, something strange happened in the Caribbean. A coral reef started collapsing near a sunken ship. When scientists looked closer, they found the ship had been leaking toxic materials for years. At the same time, though, archaeologists found valuable artifacts on it. Old coins, tools, even ceramics. So, it was a mix of danger and discovery. In 2024, near Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula, underwater archaeologists found sunken mine artifacts beneath the sea. These were thousands of years old and told new stories about ancient civilizations. That area was also turned into a protected site, and now people visit it using glass-bottom boats and guided tours. All of these stories show how one discovery can lead to many things: cultural heritage, tourism challenges, safety concerns, and environmental decisions. After all the chaos and beach shutdowns, the next big question is, how does Florida bounce back? The answer? With a mix of smart ideas and serious planning. First, the authorities say they'll partially reopen the beach, but not the whole thing. The areas that are totally safe will open first. The part where the object is found, that'll stay closed until all testing is done. To keep tourists interested, they're setting up educational booths. They're like pop-up info centers where people can learn what's been found, how sonar works, and why this discovery matters. It turns the beach into part museum, part chill zone. They're also planning night diving shows, but only for trained divers and with EOD, explosive ordnance disposal teams nearby. That means safety comes first, especially if there's any chance that old explosives are in the water. There's talk of starting heritage trails too, like guided walks that connect the beach to nearby historical sites, and maybe the coolest thing of all, an underwater VR museum. That's right, put on a headset and you can explore the ocean floor without getting wet. To help local workers, the government's giving ecotourism grants. These are basically funds to help fishermen and vendors switch to eco-friendly businesses, like running boat tours or selling handmade beach goods. Also, they're working with marine institutes to host public workshops. These will teach people, especially young students, about marine science, shipwreck history, and how to care for the environment. So yeah, even though the mystery caused problems at first, it could actually become a big opportunity. It's a chance to bring tourism back in a safer, smarter, and more educational way, and it shows that when something goes wrong, communities can find creative ways to turn it into something good. Alright, let's geek out a little. Ever wonder how scientists even find stuff underwater? It's not like you can just open Google Maps and spot shipwrecks. That's where underwater tech comes in. And it's honestly super cool. The first big tool they use is sonar. There are two types mainly, side-scan sonar and multi-beam sonar. Side-scan sends sound waves sideways across the seafloor, kind of like sweeping a flashlight in the dark. It shows shapes and shadows of objects buried in the sand. Multi-beam sonar shoots sound straight down and gives a super detailed 3D picture of the ocean floor. Then, there is the use of AUVs and ROVs. AUVs are autonomous underwater vehicles, meaning they explore on their own, kind of like an ocean version of a self-driving car. ROVs, on the other hand, are remotely operated vehicles controlled by a person from a ship using a joystick and camera feed, like playing a video game underwater. Another cool gadget is the magnetometer. It finds stuff based on its magnetic field, so if there is metal under the sea like a cannon, anchor, or even a submarine, it sends out alerts. Then we have ground truthing. That just means after all the fancy tech shows what's there, divers actually go down and check it with their own eyes. You can't fully trust machines, you have got to see it for yourself. Scientists are even using AI now to go through sonar data faster. AI helps spot weird shapes and patterns and suggest what they might be, and all this technology helps make underwater exploration safer, faster, and way more accurate. Without it, we'd just be guessing and probably missing out on huge discoveries.